taking this off. We're gonna see why it's leaking. Look at that puddle. It's already filled that up. It's like right here. Look, right, leaking right there. Right there, you can see it. The triplets. Alright, now we can see that it's leaking from this top part. I don't know why. This must be like the seal. Oh, right here. This seal. It's not sealed. It's open right here. Right along the top. It looks like there's feels like there's a gap right here. Hay un espacio aquí entre el radiator, como que se abrió aquí. Está tirando el agua. Le quitamos el tapón del radiator. Está tirando todo el coolant. Quiero que la mayoría caiga en la bolsa para no ser tiradero. Take off the coolant cap and I'm leaking the coolant. Ok, ya le quité 3 mangueras. Took off 3 hoses. Una, la de abajo 2 y la tercera. Lo que las mangueras que le quitamos. 3 hoses we took off. 4 bolts later. Right here, 1, 2, 3 y 4. Y va para afuera el radiator. Alright, this is the radiator. This is the radiator before I clean it. It's all dirtied up. It looks ugly. And this is the other side. Just the radiador. Clean. Clean only inside. I couldn't get that really scrubbed the inside. But everything else looks pretty clean, limpio. Mira. We're also gonna clean this. Vamos a limpiar la tapadera del radiator. We're gonna try it. We're just gonna try it. Alright guys, I have sanded this thing down pretty well. Also tried some on this side and I sanded it. I'm gonna add some JB welding to top it off and make sure no water squeaks through the weld. And before I start with the JB weld, I did use some alcohol. Usé alcohol para limpiar, para que pegue bien, so it can stick well. Oh Jesus, this thing's strong.
Next to you. Look at that, look at this.
Just fill in the bead. Finished adding the JB welding. Acabé, ya quedó así como se ve antes que se cure. It's barely been 5 minutes que lo puse también de este lado. Y más o menos ahí quedó. Vamos a esperar que se cure y vamos a ver if it works. A ver si sirve. Si funcionó el relleno. Okay, limpiamos. We kind of cleaned this, cleaned the bottom hose, cleaned up the little fan, a little bit of the orange here. I scrubbed all this so when we wash it, it should all come off. And that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna put on the radiator. I think it's time. Okay, creo que ya. We're gonna see if it leaks or not. Le tapé. Tiene que aguantar que no salga agua. Si se liquea, pues vamos por un nuevo. Si se liquea. Bueno. Creo que casi ahí se llenó. No se ven leak. Aquí liqueaba. Acuérdense que está bien feo. It's terrible here. Now it's not leaking because I sealed it. Check for any other sides of leaks. This is because water was dripping, I hope. This is where it leaked. So ya se selló. Okay. Lavarlo. Alright, we're gonna install it. Okay, first thing is we gotta put on the cover first before the radiator for it to fit. Cover has to go first. Has to get squeezed in there. And it just it rests right there as we put in. Because there's no space para meter the radiator. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 bolts and the radiator's on. Okay, next thing is poner la manguera, ya la puse, just put it on. Just put it right onto the knob here. Also do the same thing, put this on. I just need to tighten them and then we can put on the cap. Now we can put on the cap. 4 screws later, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We got the cap on, and the disc is free to rotate. The fan, and under the truck, just tighten your hose clamp. So under the truck, on the top, because I cleaned it, tighten that clamp. Put your engine coolant clamp. And we gotta put these things back. Since we needed access to the hose right here, put one on, and now we need to put this left side on. This thing looks ugly, so we are gonna clean it. Okay, cleaned it up a little bit. Looks pretty good. And onto the truck. Okay, checking the hoses. Hoses are on. 1, 2, the bottom one, 3. Radiator screwed on, plastic pieces on, battery got connected, this thing's clamped, I forgot what this is called, air something, that's on, this is on. Just need to fill it with coolant and we should be ready to test it, see if it leaks or not with heat. So we're gonna go half water, half coolant. This is concentrated. Yep, must add water. Alright, we topped it off with water. The ground is wet because I was dripping it as I poured it in, but we're gonna turn it on and we're gonna move it to a new spot, and if it keeps leaking, something's leaking. Sun drops on the floor. I don't know where that's coming from. Everything on top looks pretty good though. It's pretty good. All done. And the measuring thing is not on hot, so we're good. It's cool. It's not heating up. Next thing is we gotta fix this speedometer for it to work, because it does not work. But I think it might start leaking. It's the clamp. Okay, the clamp is just loose. Well, that should stop leaking. Yep, stop leaking, let's go. It was just loose. The important part that it don't leak here, because that means the radiator cracked. But it looks good. This is what I fixed right here. This is where it was leaking. That's just the clamp. But this is the issue that I was having right here. And it's dry, it's hot, and it's good. With spots again, now it's not leaking. And everything's good. So we are good to go, not leaking. Bam, no leaking.